Hi, my name is Harper, and today I'm going to talk about Tradwives and the resurgence of conservatism and gender roles on social media. The Tradwife movement is a movement of women who want to bring back traditional gender roles and live the way they did in the 1950s. They believe women should be homemakers. They believe women should take care of their children. They don't think women should have jobs. They don't think women should get educated.
We are sold this idea that we are going to find fulfillment and happiness when we isolate and separate ourselves from our family to live in a community of other young people, 18-year-olds who have never been on their own before either. What does this so-called college experience promote? Casual sex, drugs, alcohol, partying. College is where all four of those things I just listed happen the most frequently.
They advocate for women to be submissive. I'm going to dive further into the harmful effects of the Tradwife movement and why it is moving feminism backwards. When trying to pinpoint the origin of gender roles, one of the first texts we are brought to is the Bible. Here are a few verses that pertain to gender roles. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Genesis 3:16. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. 1 Timothy 2:12. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ as head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Ephesians 5:22 through 5:23. Despite these originating from the Bible, the patriarchal belief that women are inferior has spread much outside the bounds of Christianity. Our country boasts freedom of religion, but we are one nation under God. America was built on Christianity, and it's still woven into the laws and social norms in today's society. I found this video from this creator, and her name is Jenny, and she talks about her experience as an ex-Tradwife. She got married when she was 19. Her husband left her, and she is trying to share her story to warn other women against the Tradwife lifestyle.
What I'm asking for is if you are a young 14, 16, 21-year-old girl, listen up. I drove to the grocery store. I need to grab some milk and bread and a couple things, flipped open the pink app on my phone, and I've been sitting in my car crying ever since because I never have enough money. And why do I never have enough money? Because when I was a 19-year-old girl, I fell in love. My Mormon faith told me that I was supposed to be a stay-at-home mom. I got married. I started having babies. I dropped out of college. I never had a career. My only jobs that I ever had in life were a waitress at the Olive Garden and managing a pretzel maker in a mall. I decided that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, so I bought a windshield business. I was 20. And my Mormon stake president reminded me that women weren't supposed to work, so I quit my own business, handed it over to my husband, took my name off of it. I would work our family business throughout the next 24 years of my marriage, but I never got paid. I didn't have a salary. My name wasn't on it. I literally worked for room and board. So I found myself divorced at age 44, just 5 years ago, and within just a few months, I was living in my car while he made about $250,000. He would eventually quit that job so that he wouldn't have to pay alimony and child support. He has only paid alimony one time ever. Right after my divorce, I remember being really confident about my ability to get a job, so I put together a resume. I remember one of the first interviews that I had as a management position for a windshield company, similar to the one that we had run. And the man actually laughing as he was interviewing me, he told me in the interview, please don't apply for any more jobs like this. You are not qualified at all. You're not capable of doing this. We had boats and RVs and whatever I wanted. And it never bothered me once that my financial security was dependent on that man being in love with me. I never realized that him liking me or not liking me or finding me sexy or attractive or interesting determined whether or not my children could eat, whether or not I could buy myself a fucking jug of milk and a loaf of bread.
I think that video is really important, and I think more people need to look deeper into the downsides and the victims of the Tradwife movement, like Jenny. When you look at the Tradwife movement, look at all these popular videos, these creators, you will not see a woman over the age of like 30. Because mostly by that time, they've been divorced, they've been left. And now they are left taking care of his kids with no money, having to get a job for the first time because they thought, oh, I need to be a submissive wife. I need to do whatever he says. Something really common among these posts that you'll see with Tradwives is the yearning to be in the 1950s. the aesthetic of the 1950s, them thinking, oh, it was better, women were happier back then. I'm gonna talk about a story that I think helps prove that they were not that happy back then. This is called Story of an Hour by Kate Siobhan. She's one of the earliest feminist writers, and in this story, this woman, she's waiting for her husband to return from a trip, and her sister and a friend of her husband's show up at her house. They try to gently tell her her husband was killed in a train accident. She loses it. She's sobbing, freaking out, and she runs up to her room to be alone. After crying for a bit and being in shock, she goes to the window and opens the window. She smells the fresh air. She feels a new lease on life, imagining all the things she'll be able to do without her husband. For once, she feels hopeful for the future. While she is imagining her wonderful future, there's a knock at the door. It's her husband. He missed the train. She drops dead of a heart attack. In the last line, they say, when the doctors came, they said she had died of heart disease, of the joy that kills. She hated her husband so bad that the thought of spending another moment with him killed her. She dropped dead. She's like, I am not spending another moment with this man. The nuclear family is a key part of the Tradwife fantasy. It is a masculine man and a feminine woman. It is God, husband, wife, children. Women are less than, women are second. They serve the man. It's not what your husband can do for you, but what you can do for your husband. By default, this is impossible for gay people. Someone had asked me, can lesbians be Tradwives? No, they cannot, because this is adhering to every single ultra-traditional patriarchal gender role. Being a lesbian goes against the patriarchy. There is no man. It does not involve any men. If we were both to adhere to the gender roles, we would both be at home making pies, wandering around listlessly, looking for a man to bow down to. And who would pay the bills? Because we're not allowed to work. We're not supposed to work. We're just supposed to wear pretty little dresses and bake pies and serve our husbands. This movement is perpetuating heteronormativity, and it is completely spreading the idea that has been around since the beginning of time that gay people are weird, gay people are wrong. If you want to go to heaven, it's a man and a woman. I'm gonna show you guys this video, and this is Tradwife creator Gwen the Milkmaid, and this is a prime example of homophobia in the Tradwife community. She's talking about her past self like, oh my god, I can't believe I used to be a lesbian feminist, like disgusted. First of all, this perpetuates the idea that lesbians just need to find the right man. She was never a lesbian. She was bisexual. People acting like this, acting like they were lesbians, and then they just find the right man. That is why every man thinks he has a chance with a lesbian. He can change her. He can fix her. That is not how it works. It does harm to the lesbian community. And she's talking about being gay negatively. She's disgusted that she ever identified as gay, that she ever did gay activities. You talking down on gay people, acting disgusted about gay people, and about pro-choice people, and about feminists, thinking you're better than us? You're not better than us. My final thought is this. After centuries of women fighting for our rights and monumental progress, we seem to be going backwards in recent years. With Roe v. Wade being overturned in 2022, women can now be charged for having a miscarriage. Doctors can be charged for assisting a woman with miscarriage. After such progress, it is devastating to see us begin to go backwards. And there's no doubt in my mind that conservatives, Christians, Tradwives, they are playing a role in it.